Hello guys and welcome back to our lecture series on linear algebra. So we have this 15th lecture from linear algebra as a part of our IIT JAM course, and this section and next section basically will be discussing on vector spaces and the previous year questions which were asked from this section. We'll be solving all the previous year questions up to 2019, and in fact 2020 is already available in our website, sorry, in my channel. We can visit and you can get the solutions. So let's move on to the section. So here we are given a problem on vector spaces, subspaces and its basis. So we know that set of all real 2 by 2 matrices is basically an vector space. It satisfies all the axioms required for being a vector space. So here obviously the field that we are going to take is basically a set of real numbers. So we'll be noting something like M2 by 2 of R to be set of our real 2 by 2 matrices. And if we have a vector space V, we can define a subset W of V to be a subspace of the vector space V if it itself is a vector space over the same field F, and with respect to the same operations, the two operations what we have, this vector addition and scalar multiplication, with respect to both it should be a vector space. And if you recall how to check whether a particular W is a subspace of V, there is a simple technique in which we can do is that the additive identity in V should also be inside our W. 0 should belongs to W also, as well as if you take two vectors from your W, the vector space, sorry, the subspace W, and you take a C from your field, then if you want to check W is a subspace of V, it's enough to check that whether C alpha plus beta belongs to your vector space W. So these are the two conditions which we require to check whether a particular space is a subspace of a vector space or not. So these things you must keep in mind. So I just want you to just refer this definition of vector spaces and see some examples before you attempt this problem. So let us solve this problem now. So we are asked here basically about the basis of the subspace given to us here, whether which of the following is basically a basis for this particular subspace. That is the question. So what is basically a basis of a vector space? If you take a vector space V over F, what you call as a basis? Yeah, if you have a linearly independent set, say V1, V2, etc., Vn, if it is actually a linearly independent set, and if you denote this to be S, and suppose the span of S is basically the complete of V, then we can say that this set S is basically a basis for this vector space, right? I think in the previous lectures I have given you a small glimpse of some idea about the basis. Now I think you also know regarding what you mean linearly independent set, which we have discussed previously, and also what is span of S. So span of S is nothing but the linear combination of vectors in S, something like a1 times c1 plus a2 times, sorry, not c1, v1 plus a2 times v2, etc., plus an times vn. Set of all such vectors are linear combination of vectors where ai belongs to the field f. We call them as the spanners, or this set we call as a span of S. And if you can see that span of S is complete vector space V, we say that S is a basis of that particular set. So if you take a small vector space R3 over R, then we know that we have a basis, right? 1 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 1. This set is basically a linearly independent set, and if you take all the linear combinations of, say, these vectors a times 0 0 0 plus b times 0 1 0 plus c times 0 0 1, and you take set of all such linear combinations with a, b and c all belonging to R, then you can see you get all a, b, c, all triplets ABC, that means it's nothing but your R3. So it's basically this S is basically a basis. So here we have a question in which we are given a vector space of matrices and we are given a subset of that set. In fact, subspace is given to us. We are given that this particular W is a subspace and we are asked to find the basis of that particular subspace. So if you look at W, W is nothing but set of all x, y, 0, t, which has some properties. What are they? X plus 2y plus t is 0 and y plus t is going to be 0. So these two conditions are also there. So from this we should try to derive some things, some properties of W. So we are given that y plus t is 0. So obviously we can tell that y is equal to minus t. And also if you substitute in this first equation, what you get is something like x minus 2t plus t is 0, or you get x is equal to t. So that means that if you know t, you can tell about the complete matrix here over, right? So that means that any vector in W is of the form x is t, right? So I can write t, y is again minus t and 0, and t is again t itself. So any vector is of this form, or we can write as t times something like 1 minus 1 0 1, where t is in R, right? That means any vector in this subspace is W is of this particular form, right? So that means what? So this, if you take a set containing the vector this alone, then what I could say is that, yeah, before going to that, what is the dimension of this particular vector space, that is the subspace W? That means you have to find the basis first, right? You have to find the basis first, and the cardinality of that particular set is known as the dimension. So what we can see here is that span of this S, right? That is, this S is a singleton set containing this particular vector, and this vector is enough to generate all the vectors in S. And if you take span of S, is nothing but this what we have written, some A times the vector, linear combination of elements in this particular set. So that is nothing but your W. So span of S is W, and we have a singleton set here with a non-zero value. It's actually linearly independent set. That means that S is nothing but basically a basis, and dimension of this set is 1. Sorry, this cardinality of this set is 1. So the dimension of this W is, we are getting it to be equal to 1. So that means this should be the correct answer, right? Option D should be the correct answer. So this is not true, and obviously dimension is 1, so never we are going to have this as option and this as option, because if this is the basis, we must have like 3 as a dimension. If B is the basis, then we should have 2 as a dimension, but we have dimension of W as 1 only, right? So this is done. So coming to the next question, it is again regarding subspaces of R3 over R. So I would like to tell a tip regarding this, that if you take R3 over R, the only subspaces of R3 over R nothing but the lines passing through the origin, and also the lines passing through the origin, as so the planes passing through the origin. Passing through the origin, why we are using is because we want that 0 element, that additive identity 0, to be in the subspace. So that origin is basically 0 0 0 in R3. So this element has to be inside our subspace. That's why we are taking passing through the origin. So all lines and planes, and these are the only subspaces of R3 over R. And if you take R2, like I mean the proper subspaces, even R3 over R itself is a subspace, and singleton 0 is also a subspace. But the proper subspace are only lines passing through the origin basically, and the planes passing through the origin. Okay, so for the exam point of view, this you must keep in mind. So in this question, if you are going to attempt, we are asked to find out the following choices. The set V becomes a two-dimensional subspace of R3 over R. So basically this is V. So we are asked, and this is also again beta, not 3. It's a small typing mistake. Okay. So basically, this is actually an equation of a plane in R3. And we just have to substitute and check which are the following the two-dimensional subspaces. If you substitute this is again alpha. If you substitute alpha equal to 0, beta equal to 1, and gamma equal to 0, what do you get here from this? We get something like alpha is 0, so 0x plus beta is 1, so y plus z equal to gamma is 0. So set of all x, y, z, set of all x, y, z in R3 such that y plus z is equal to 0. So what is this set? So suddenly don't say that it's basically a line. You may write something like y is equal to minus z. Yeah, it's a line, but it's not true because we are asked to find set of all x, y, z for which y plus z equal to 0. So you can take you can consider the points like x, y is minus z, and other one is z. Set of all points of this form will basically form what? It will form a what? Plane, right? It will form a plane in the space. If you draw this three-dimensional space, you can see our line. Suppose if this are y and z are the positive y and z axis, then we may get something like y plus z equal to 0 is something that's like this plane, and x can be anything. So you can think of something like a plane like this, okay. So this is basically an plane, and it's passing through the origin. Is it passing through the origin? Yes, obviously. If you give z as 0 or y as 0, you get these two coordinates as 0, and you can take x as 0. So this is basically satisfying this particular equation. So 0, 0, 0 belongs to this particular plane. So this plane is passing through the origin. So we can say that this is actually a correct answer. Now coming to the next option, if you give alpha as 0, beta as 1, and gamma as 1, you get set of all x, y, z such that beta is 1, so y plus z is equal to gamma is 1. So this is not a subspace because this subspace, this particular structure, whatever it is not passing through the point 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, because we have to have that whatever is the structure, it's a plane or line, whatever it is, should pass through this particular origin. Because if you take all the points for which y plus z equal to 1, then it's not containing the point 0, 0, 0, so it is not a subspace. And if you go for the third option, that is option C, you will be getting what? You will be getting something like alpha is 1, so x plus beta is 0, so here becomes 0 plus z equal to 0 plus z equal to 0. So it's similar to this first case. So this is actually another plane, so it will also pass through the origin. So it's also an answer. Coming to the last option, that is alpha is equal to 1 and beta is equal to 1, so we get something like x plus y plus z equal to 0. So this is again another plane which passes through this particular origin. So this is also a correct option. So in this we have 3 correct options, and obviously all the cases we have all are two-dimensional subspaces, right? Because if you take the first case, what we got was something like y plus z is equal to 0, or we got y is equal to minus z, and x could be anything. So if you take set of all x, y, z with the property that x can be any real number and y has to be minus z and both has to be real number, then if you take a set like this, what is the dimension of this particular set? What is the cardinal what is the the dimension for this particular set? That is, if you take here we can choose like, or we can write any vector of this form to be something like 1 0 0 x times 1 0 0 plus y times 0 1 minus 1, right? Because this z is nothing but minus y. So this we can replace, because this property is there, right? So we can replace this z as minus y. Our elements will be of this form. So these two are linearly independent vectors, and also they span the full space. So we can say the dimension is 2. Similarly, you can argue all the other cases. Okay. So basically, they are what we have are planes here. So we have two-dimensional subspaces here. So let's move on to the next question. So this is another interesting question from this section of vector spaces. And here also we're asked to find the dimension of the vector space. So the vector space we are asked is basically set of all y belongs to R3 such that ay is equal to 0. So if you look at A, this is a familiar matrix to us, which we have discussed in almost 2-3 sections or 2-3 lectures in the previous lectures, and we have found that a rank of this matrix, what is the rank of A? The rank of A is basically equal to 1. This we have already done in the previous lectures. So from that idea, you just think of a system of linear equation in which you have the form ay equal to 0, and we need to find the dimension of the vector space set of all y for which ay is 0. That means you have to find the solution space. You have to find the solution space of this particular homogeneous linear equation, system of linear equation. And in this case, we know about the system of linear equations that the solution exists, always solution exists. And since rank of A is 1, what will be the dimension of the vector space containing set of all y belongs to R3 for ay equal to 0? Can you tell? Yeah, if you go back to our lectures, we have very clearly given what is this set. It is nothing but what? The null space of the matrix A. Set of all y for which ay is 0 is nothing but the null space of our matrix A. So from that idea, we can say the dimension of the null space is nothing but the nullity, right? Nullity is nothing but what you mean by the dimension of a null space. So we are asked to find simply the nullity here, and we already know that rank of A is 1. So we have this identity, rank of A plus our nullity of A is basically equal to the number of columns in A, right? So these things we have discussed previously. So from that, what we can tell here is 1 plus x is equal to 3 here, right? Number of columns in A is 3. It's basically a 3 by 3 matrix because x belongs to R3. You can just calculate it. I'm doing it fast because we already have done this before. So you're going to get x is equal to 3 minus 1, that is 2. So in this question, the answer is nothing but 2. So what we learned new is here that, not new, in fact, for those who are looking at this for the first time, this is nothing but the null space of the matrix A. Set of all y for which you multiply with A, it becomes the 0 vector. So that particular space is known as the null space of the matrix A. Okay, so let's move on to the next question now. So here we have a very interesting question. We are given V is a set of 2 by 2 matrices with the complex entries such that it has a property that if you add A11 plus A22, we are getting 0. And W set of matrices in V, in fact subset of V I think, and with the property that A12 plus A21 conjugate is equal to 0. Then under usual metric addition and scalar multiplication, which of the following is or are true? So we are asked whether V is a vector space over C, W is a vector space over C, V is a vector space over R, or W is a vector space over R. So in this problem, I want you to just verify whether it's a vector space or not. So I'm going to do one section from this. That is, suppose you take this particular option, that is option B, whether W is a vector space over C. So W is actually a subspace of this particular if W is a subspace over this particular vector space C, or like how we can check whether W is a subspace of V. Yeah, it is enough to check that whether if you take two vectors alpha and beta from W, and if we can find that C alpha plus beta belongs to W for any C in F, then we can say that it's basically a subspace. So if you want to check whether it's a vector space over C, it's enough to check whether it's actually a, or it's just enough to check this particular properties. For W, if you just check this property, it's enough. We can claim whether it's a vector space or not. So I'm just checking this property here to claim whether it's a vector space over C or not. Okay, because if W is a vector space, sorry, if it's a subspace, obviously it has to be a vector space over C. So I'll just check that condition. So if that is not true, I can directly remove that particular option. So let us take two vectors. Say I'll take a11, a12, a21, a22. I'll take this is my alpha, and I'll take b11, b12, b21, b22, and this is my beta. I'm taking from W. Okay, and I'll take a constant scalar C from our field C. So if I find out what is the property they have the property that a12 plus a21 conjugate will be 0, as well as b12 plus b21 conjugate will be 0. Suppose I find out this, or I just simplify this, what I get is CA11 plus B11, CA12 plus B12, CA21 plus A22, and CB21 plus B22. Yes, this is what I get, right? So here we just have to check whether this belongs to our W, right? So this belongs to W means what? It should have which property? It should have the property that this entry over here, that is our a12 in that sense, plus the conjugate of this particular entry, when you add you must get equal to 0. So is it true? That is what you have to check, that's all. CA12 plus B12 plus CA21 plus A22, the whole conjugate, in fact it is C conjugate A21 conjugate plus A22 conjugate. If you add this, will you get 0? That is the question. See, suppose this C was R, that is, suppose we were discussing this option D, we are going to do the same thing. We are going to take alpha and beta from W, we are taking a C from the real numbers, and we are finding this over here. And if C is from real number, then this C bar is going to be again C itself, right? If C is from R, then you can just club this CA12, just take common C times A12 plus A21 you can take, and A12 plus A21 is, sorry, A21 conjugate is already 0, so you get 0 plus B12 plus B12 plus, yeah, I'm sorry, I think I made a small mistake here. It's basically A21 plus B21, right? So it has to be B21, so here it has to be B21, and here again it has to be B21. So I'll just erase it and write. So this part has to be, I was thinking why I'm getting like this, suddenly I got something. So B21, right? So we get now B12 plus B21 conjugate is basically 0, and so we get 0 plus 0 is again 0. So we get something like this entry plus this entry conjugate is equal to 0 is satisfied. So if this is the case, then we can say it's a vector space. But if this is the case, we can say it is not a vector space, because this conjugate of C, then if you have something like 1 plus I or something, then it becomes 1 minus I, so it's difficult to take common over here and use this property, so this need not be true. So this correct option here is actually D. So that means that the following are true is asked to us, so this is not going to be true. And what about other two? The other two are also going to be true, which you can simply just verify the properties of our vector space axioms. You can simply verify, it's not going to make any harm to you. None of the properties are going to make you any harm except this particular case what we have seen. So now I think we can move on to the next question. Here we have yet another interesting question in which we are asked to find out the value of which one? The value of x for which this set is linearly dependent. So this is kind of a simple question. We will just use a definition of linear independence and dependence. You know that we say three vectors are linearly independent if we take a linear combination c1 times x minus 1 0 plus c2 times 0 minus 1 x x plus c3 times 1 0 1 0. I'm sorry, there's a small correction in this question. It is not 0, basically it's minus 1. It's 1 minus 1 1 0. Okay, I think it's just again a small typing mistake, because when I take the questions and I'm typing in LaTeX for you, it is sometimes it's getting a small mistake, but I have the question paper with me, so with this I'm correcting this. So it's basically 1 minus 1 1 0. Okay, so I just correct it here also. It is 1 minus 1 1 0. So if you have three vectors like this, then the linear combination of this equal to 0. If I can make this linear combination equal to 0 by at least choosing some non-zero CIs, then we say that the vectors are linearly dependent, right? So if I solve this, I'm going to get some equations over here. I get c1x plus c3 is 0. Then I get minus c1x minus c2 minus c3 is 0. Then I get something like minus c1 plus c2x plus c3 is 0, and the last one I get is something like c2x is 0. So from this we need to decide what is basically x. Can x be 0? If x is 0, what happens? If x is 0, this set becomes what? Set becomes something like 0, that is minus 0 is again 0, minus 1 0. The first vector becomes this, second vector becomes 0 minus 1 0 0, and the third vector becomes 1 minus 1 1 0. So we were asked to find out an x for which this set is basically linearly dependent, right? But you can see this set is basically not linearly dependent, it's actually linearly independent, right? You might be thinking how I'm doing it suddenly. We have done some tricks before also. What you can do is, for the matrices section, when you're discussing like m 2 by 2 of R, you can consider this as vectors in R4. That is, you just take as 0 0 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 0 0 1 minus 1 1 0. I'm just taking this is the first entry, second entry, third entry, fourth entry, and you get three vectors, and you just find out the how many linearly independent vectors are on this. So when you find out the rank, you can see the rank will get as 3. So they will be basically linearly independent vectors. So that means x cannot take the value 0. So if x is not taking the value 0, then C2 has to take the value as 0, right? So now if you have C2 to be 0, then what are you going to get from here? So that is what we get. If you substitute C2 to be 0, we get like minus C1x minus C3 is 0, and also we get minus C1 plus C3 is 0. Or if from this what we get is C1 is equal to C3. So if C1 is equal to C3, then I think we are done. So what is the value we can predict here? We get something like this, and then we can write as something of this form, and we can write C1 into x plus 1 is 0, or what we can tell is x has to be -1, because c1 cannot be not equal to 0, right? Because already c2 is 0, and if c1 is 0, then c3 also becomes 0, right? But we must have that we are given the really independent, so we are taking a combination for which at least one of the ci's is non-zero, such that this clear combination is equal to 0. 0 means this 0 vector. So in this case x has to take the value -1. So coming to the next question, we are given let M2 of R be the vector space of 2 by 2 real matrices, and V is vector space. V is a subspace of M2 of R defined by set of all A in M2 of R, such that A times this matrix is equal to that matrix times A. Then we are asked dimension of V. So we are just given, we are asked to find out the dimension of a space of matrices which commute with the matrix 0, 2, 3, 1. So it's enough to take say a matrix of the form A, B, C and D. It is commuting with the matrix 0, 2, 3, 1, and we are asked to find out the dimension of that particular space. So it's enough to take a matrix of this form. We just take A to be this matrix A, B, C, D, multiply it, and try to find out the dimension of that space. So if you multiply, you'll get something of this form, right? If you multiply the matrices, you can see something of this form. From this you get few implications. What do you get? You get 3b is 2c, right? From, if you compare the two first elements of this matrices, a11 element, or the element in the position 1, 1, first row, first column. Again, if you compare this and this, again you are going to get something like 2c plus d is equal to sorry for that, 3b plus d, which again will give you the same thing, dd will get cancelled. And if you compare this and this, you get something like 2a plus b is 2d, and if you compare this and this, you get again 3a plus c is 3d, right? So one thing is very clear here, that since 3b is 2c, you can write b to be 2c by 3. That means or the reverse way, anything you can do. So you just need to know c to predict what is b, or if you just need to know b to predict what is c. And now we are just left out with these two equations. Just simplify these two, we'll get something from here. If you take as first and second equation, let me find what is 2 minus 1. I'll get something like a plus c minus b is equal to d, and from this maybe I can write a plus c minus b is already 2c by 3 plus sorry, equal to d, and in fact again I can write as a to be in terms of these two, c and d, that is 3c minus 2c by 3 is nothing but c by 3. So I get something like d minus c by 3 as a, right? So what I get is two equations basically. I get this equation, b is 2c by 3, and I get a is d minus c by 3. So these are the two relations what we are getting. Now we need to find out what is the dimension, right? So very clearly you can see here that if you know c, you can write what is b. So if you are writing this matrix A, general matrix A, suppose we know what is our c, then your b is 2c by 3. Now if you know d also, you can easily write A as d minus c by 3. So you have the matrix. You have the matrix, a general matrix A, or all the matrices in this V will be of this particular form. That means we need to know here about two guys, C and D, and if you know that, you can write the complete matrix. So in this case, the dimension of B should be then equal to 2, right? Because you just need to know C and D, or you can just write this as C times minus 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 1 0 matrix plus D times 1 0 0 1. So these two are basically nearly independent vectors and they span the full space. They span the full space in this sense. They are helping you to find all the vectors of the form A and B. So the span of this set, like set containing these two elements will basically nothing but equal to V. So it becomes the basis and this dimension becomes 2. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this series of lectures. So the remaining questions I'll be discussing in the next class. So if you have any doubts or any comments from this section, please put it down in the comment section. And basically we have a Telegram group also in which I'll be providing the questions and all those steps. I have provided the questions and all those steps for this particular section. So those who are new to this lecture, please join down. There's a link given in the description section regarding the Telegram group and also the Facebook group, our Facebook group. So those who have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel also for getting the correct updates. So thank you for watching and stay updated.